Test, yeah.
Good morning. We will begin our service with the ringing of the temple bell. At this time, please silence your cell phones and listen quietly, as the sounding of the kancho is an invitation to settle our hearts and minds as we prepare to receive the Dharma. Thank you. Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's Dharma Family Service, either in person or via Zoom. I am Darcy Asakura and my son Brennan, and we will be serving as your MCs. Today's service will be conducted by Minister's Assistant and recently ordained Tokuro, Ms. Linda Nagai. Assisting at the temple with technical support is the Zoom crew of Alan Matsumoto, Joey Guzman, and Stephen Kaneko. Corinne Chong is our organist, and Betty Takioka will lead the singing. Please rise and let us start the service with the Vandana and Tisarana. Please chant both the Pali and English parts together with Miss Linda. Those of you on Zoom, be sure you have muted your mics.
Namandavs, 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 namandavs.
Please remain standing for the aspiration, which will be shared by Miss Linda.
This is from the letters of Renyo Shonin, and it's called the Gobunsho. I chose this I'm doing this in English, but I had to do it in Japanese there. So this is the English version of what I had to do in Japanese. And it's titled The Tradition of Shinran Shonin. What is taught in the tradition of Shinran Shonin is that the entrusting heart is essential. For when we abandon various practices and take refuge in Amida with singleness of heart, our birth in the Pure Land is settled by the Buddha through the inconceivable vow power. The state we thus attain is described as with awakening of single thought of entrusting. We join those who are in the stage of the truly settled. Recitation of the Nembutsu thereafter should be understood to be the Nembutsu as an expression of gratitude for the Tathagata's benevolence for settling our birth in the Pure Land, humbly and respectfully. Namamidas. Namadas. Namadas. Namadas.
Please be seated. It is now time for the offering of the incense. We invite all Sangha members and in attendance to please come up and Offer incense if you wish, starting with the front rows and moving towards the back. Let us observe a moment of silence. Silent meditation.
Namandavs, 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 namandavs.
Ms. Linda will now lead us in the chanting of the sutra, 12 homages or Junirai in English. Words can be found on the laminated handouts in the back of the pews and on the screen.
golden form like the mountain king, steadfast like the elephant's pace, Buddha's eyes like the blue lotus. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's form round like the moon, bright like thousand suns and moons. Buddha's voice like the nightingale. Thus I bow to Amida. Buddha's figure on Kanon's crown, adorned with wondrous features. Buddha subdues evilness. Thus I bow to Amida. Beyond compare, Amida's pure, virtue shining clear like space. And if it from Buddha, thus I bow to Amida. Bodhisattvas all renowned, Maras to praise Amida. Primal vow made for our sake. Thus I bow to Amida. Golden ponds where lotus bloom, towers a throne of goodness. Buddha lives like the mountain king. Thus I bow to Amida. The sattvas come afar, attaining true happiness. They revere the Buddha's face. Thus I bow to Amida. All life changes like the dew. We have no permanent self. Buddha teaches this law to all. Thus I bow to Amida. No evil in the Pure Land, and no fear of evil paths. Faithful hearts honor Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, saving us through many ways. No tempters, no evil friends. Birth leads to enlightenment. Thus I bow to Amida. Amida, thus I have praised. Virtues boundless like the sea. These virtues shared with others for birth into the Pure Land. Namanda is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namandavs, 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 namandavs.
Please rise for the singing of the Gatha, a special place. Words are on the handouts and on the screen.
There is a square upon the floor, an island in a sea, a place I visit every week, a spot that's just for me. When I sit upon that square, I leave my cares outside. All anger is forgotten. The Dharma is my guide. There is a special something here. It's something you can see. For kindness lives within this place. It lives inside of me. Amida stands inside the shrine, a smile upon his face. I smile right back. I'm glad to be here in this special place. Now there's time to sit and think of all that I can do to care for those around me each day the whole week through. This is a home to gentle thoughts when sitting quietly. For kindness lives within this place. It lives inside of me. It lives inside of me.
You may be seated. Miss Linda will now share a Dharma message.
Good morning. I was asked, I think Reverend had mentioned, to share my Tokudo journey. It's a long journey because I'm 70 years old, but I'll try and kind of condense it. First, I would like for us to put our hands together in Gasho. My eyes being hindered by blind passions, I cannot perceive the light that grasps me. Yet the great compassion, without tiring, illuminates me always. And this is taken from the hymn of the Pure Land Masters. Namandas, namandas. Where do I start? As I was writing this, and it took me a long time to write it because I don't like to talk about myself. So it was very difficult. So I wrote, put it aside, and didn't write it for a long time. And then finally I finished it last night. So if I kind of ramble, I have notes here, so but but I was writing this, and maybe it was kind of good because it's a reflection of how I got here. And people ask me, why did you go and get Tokudo? And I say, I don't know. And I really don't know. It was just like the song, it's something inside of you. But it was not like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, and that's what I want to do. I don't know. So as I when I was writing this, and it came back, and I said, why? Why is it inside of me that I went for Tokudo? I could just come to temple like everybody else. I'm a certified lay minister assistant. I could help there, but why was it inside of me that I needed to take this next step? And then I remembered, I grew up in Kailua. Mary's not here. Some of you might remember, but we had I called it our first resort spa because my parents had a steam bath, and we had like rooms, and my mother you would come and stay, and you would have breakfast, lunch, dinner. You could have that, she'd feed you. And then they would enjoy the steam bath and the sand bath and all that stuff. It's like going to an onsen, but in Kona. And I remember from when I was little, ministers would come, and they would have their ministers retreat. I think it was a meeting, but it was more like a retreat because they would, of course, do their chanting and thing in the morning. So I would hear this. It's almost like being at temple. So I would hear this to me, it was a long time. But they would go fishing, and they would play cards, and they would do the fun things, but they would do their minister stuff, and they had their lectures. And as a little child, just running around, hearing all of that. And then back in the 50s, coming here took a long time. Now I lived in Kailua, took a long time. We were only about 3 families that were maybe Buddhist in Kailua. So the minister came to our house and another family's house to do services from time to time. So here, I guess it was kind of, there, but nothing, never thought about it. And then when I went to the mainland, then I went to Dharma school, or Sunday school, we called it, in elementary school. My dad had to drive me 4 miles, and 4 miles is nothing now, but this is 4 miles up at Hololo Honganji, and you're going up like this Hualalai Road, okay? So it took a while to get up there. And then I moved to the mainland, and after high school, I began teaching Dharma school. And then I came back here, and I continued, and then kind of laid off, then went to Honolulu. So it's just that in between things happened, and I would go to lectures. But I think the seed was planted when I was a little child, that there was something there. And so I couldn't do it, like they say, karma, or your path. You have to raise children, you have to go to work, you have to study, believe me, you have to study, you have to memorize, but there was no one here to help me, or no one anywhere. They really didn't have a program. Now they're working on a program. And fortunately, with Reverend Blaine coming here, that was my opportunity now to do it. So that's what I guess that's it. It was just a seed that was planted. I needed to do it. No special reason. And I really have to thank everybody for the Hompo Honganji Mission of Hawaii. Reverend Blaine, Reverend Baba, Reverend Hojo, Reverend Takahashi. I mean, they all came to me and helped me through this whole thing. And then when I went over, I was the only one from Hawaii. And there were 11 of us, and the other 10 came from BCA. But then there were 2 BCA ministers and the bishop from BCA went. But they embraced me like I was BCA. I wasn't from Hawaii. We were one family, and also helped through. So it was scary, but it was memorable. So to start my journey, the actual Tokudo part, in June, I went to Berkeley for 4-day training, I think. Then we had to pass an exam, and then Japan in December for a 10-day training. And they said it's like boot camp, and they scared you, they scared you. This is like boot camp. And in a way it is, because they took my phone away, they took my watch away, they took my iPad away, they took my computer away. They took everything. I had no communication. I had pencil and paper, that's about it, and my books. But it was very comforting. It was just like, no outside interference. So it was really neat. So let me tell you what our day was like. We started up a day at 5:30 in the morning, and music rang. Music played, very nice music, and it was about Higashiyama. It was about the temple. It was really nice. But we cheated. We weren't supposed to wake up, but we had to get dressed like this to go everywhere. And we still had to brush our teeth. We had to do all that. So my roommate was an early riser, so she'd wake up early. She says, "Wake up." And we get up before 5:30, and then we start doing. So by the time 5:30, we had about 65 of us. Can you imagine 65 of us? About 30 of us we were in one floor. Probably the other 30 was on the other floor. So can you imagine 30 of us trying to use the bathroom and brushing our teeth and doing all of that? So we got up a little early, and we were one step ahead of them. Then at 5:50, we met dressed like this for temperature check. Because of COVID, they were trying to do that. Then at 6 o'clock, we went down and did chores. So we cleaned and we swept outside and did not difficult stuff. So we just did that. And then we had to come up and we had to change into more formal outfit. Not like this, more formal. So we took all this off, folded it up, put it away, and then changed into a more formal outfit. Then we had to go for morning service. And then after the morning service, we came back down, took off our formal stuff, folded it up, take this. It says, boy, I tell you, I think I could be an actor or something, do a quick change, because it was fast. Then we went for breakfast. Then after breakfast, it was classes, and it was like from 9 o'clock to about 6 when we had evening service. Then we had dinner, and we went back again. But the day our day ended was 9 o'clock at night. And then by groups, we went to take a bath. And by 11 o'clock, lights out. So if you need to study, you just had that short period to study, just a short time. But it was fun. I mean, actually, somebody telling you what to do, it was kind of fun. And the bath time was the best, because I thought I was at the ryokan, because we had a big bathtub. So we, washed as usual, went in and got to soak. And believe me, you needed that soak at the end of the day. So, but for the highlights of this time, so that's just every day. Every day we did the same thing, But the highlights of this is the second day we were there, they took us up to Mount Hiei. And if everybody here, Shinran went to Mount Hiei first, where he practiced for 20 years. And then he came down the mountain. So it's a tendai, okay, yeah. So they took us there, and sometimes they have tours. The Honganji will put up a tour and say, we'll go to Mount Hiei. Reverend Blaine says he went there too, but on your own, yeah. But this was the first time I think they ever took the Tokudo people up there to see Mount Hiei. So in Mount Hiei, the first place, before we went to Mount Hiei, we went to Shoren Inn, and this is Shoren Inn there. And this is where Shinran was ordained when he was 9 years old. And it was very late, and it's in the evening, and you just remember that. This was in the evening that Shinran was ordained, so just remember that, because I'll come to that later. And the head minister, Jian, proposed that it's kind of late now, so let's do the ordination tomorrow, you know. And Shinran said, no, he insisted that he needed to be ordained tonight. And this is where Shinran composed this poem, and not many people remember this. Cherry blossoms that are felt to last till tomorrow may well blow away during the night. So he's saying that, yeah, I could wait till tomorrow, but maybe there won't be a tomorrow. Like the cherry blossoms, it's here today, tomorrow it's down. So I need to be ordained now. So he was ordained in that evening. It is also said, the next one, that's so the Shinnen chambers where he was ordained. And then Ugemido chamber? Uegami-do. I must have typed it wrong. Okay, in there, and this is where we also went in to see, supposedly Shinran's mother, and this is a story that kind of says, because one story says Shinran's mother had passed away, but Shinran's mother created a paper mache doll and placed the son of Shinran's hair, because when you get ordained, you get shaved, so your hair. So got his hair and put it on the doll, and it is said that it is still there in that chamber in Mount Hiei. So that was kind of special that we went there. It's not actually Mount Hiei, it's on the bottom side. Then we went up the mountain, and as we went up, point to them. Does it work? Change? Good. Okay, this is some of Mount Hiei. This is how we had to walk to go from temple to temple. Sometimes it was a nice, not nice, but now we walked on this, and we had tabi, and we had what we call seta, the Japanese slippers. They don't fit too good. And I tell you, it hurt because they're brand new too. It's like slippers, but they're Japanese ones. And so we walked, all 65 of us walked on some of these, walked on regular trails, and we went to see the different temples up. And there are many of them, but we only went to a few of them. Am I pointing? No. Okay. We visited Kompong Chudo Hall, and in this hall, the Buddha statue is here, and this is kind of interesting because they have Buddha's statue in straight, when you stand there, it's right straight, eye level to you, this way. And it's told that this is to give you the feeling that you're closer to the Buddha, and to remind people that everyone will become a Buddha in the future, so there is no difference between Buddha being there and the people being here. And I guess in Jodo Shinshu we could say is Amida is with us. Yeah, he's not there, he's right there. So this is at Kompon Chudo Hall. Then the next hall we visited was the Daiko-do lecture hall. And in this hall, when we walked in, there were statues, and there was a Shinran statue, just wooden statues of Shinran. Also, you see pictures. So all the people, all the monks or people that went up there and studied, their pictures are on the wall there. Priests that studied at Mount Hiei. And now it was cold. It was cold. This is all we were wearing. Of course we had thermals, but this was we were cold. But we went for them. And the next one, now this is to me, was my jaws dropped when I saw this. This is called Jogyo Zammai Do, and it's Constant Meditation Practice Hall. And in this training hall, Shinran practiced, and he completed his practice. Okay, you have to walk around, and it's dark like that. Not really that you can see, but walk around. In the middle, there's Amida's statue. You have to walk around, and you have to chant as you walk around. You have to do this continuously for 90 days. Okay, while chanting. You cannot sleep, you cannot rest, you cannot lie down. I think probably the only time you can stop is when you eat something, but then you just constantly go around and around in 90 days. They said in the past, some didn't make it, they passed away. At first, they said that there was nothing, but now they have a railing. So I guess if you get tired, you can kind of hold and go like that. But this is where Shinran, for 90 days, he had to do this, go around. Yeah, and after that, he went down the hill, right? Okay. And the next place, and this is another interesting place, this is Jodoyin. And we had to be very quiet going through this gate. And you could hear it from the outside too. This is a mausoleum dedicated to Sacho, and that's the monk that has established the Tendai sect. So this is a Tendai mountain. There's a Tendai sect up there. And they still believe that he is still there, alive. He's there. Okay, so there is a monk that is inside that building there, and he chants. He lives in there. He chants. He conducts services for Saicho 3 times a day. The only time he stops and is where he prepares food for Saicho. So if you go in the back, there is a little area where his Saicho, this altar is, and he does chores and he eats, and he has to do this for 12 years. So when we went, he was chanting. He was going on and on and on. He never stopped while we were there. So it was a long, but we had to be very quiet when we went in. So to me, that was really a memorable moment because I don't know, I've always kind of wanted to go to Mount Hiei. Where did Shinran study? And it was interesting. I think I'd like to go back more leisurely, but I don't know if we'll have the opportunity if I go back by myself to get into those places. I wish I could have taken pictures. These pictures came from internet, okay? Because like I said, they took my phone away. They took my camera away. Couldn't take anything. So I had to go look on the internet and see if I can find the pictures. So, but I think I'd like to go one day to see it again in more leisurely fashion, and when it's not so freezing cold. So then we came back, and the next days we studied and practiced and continued doing our things. Then the final memorable moment, and this is the day of Tokudo. Well, before that, people had to have their hair shaved. See, I still have my hair, so I didn't shave. You know, even my roommate shaved her head. Right? But if you did your shave, they shaved your head at the thing. But the day before, but the day of Tokudo, we left about 5 o'clock or something, and then we went to Honzang, to the main temple. And then there, we went into the hall, Goedo, which is Shinran's temple. If you ever go to Honzang, those that went, there's Amida-do, there's many, but there's Amida-do, and then there's Goedo. In Amida-do, there's Amida. In Goedo, Shinran. So this is where we were ordained in front of Shinran Shonin in Goedo. Okay. So we had a couple of rituals. If you were here when Reverend Blaine did his Raibang, you know how he went down on his knees. We were fortunate we had chairs, but we had to do, they went fine. We had to go down because okay, hopefully we don't go all the way down. But we had to do that kind of ritual. The Japanese had to sit on the floor. So they went down. They went down 3 and they had to go down. But because we were in chairs, we were easier for us. So at Tokudo, we're ordained, and since the squat and bow, and we sat on the chairs. Then what we had to do was we had to cup our hands like this and put it behind here. And can't go like this, but we are like this. And the reason is they would come and put incense, special incense. It's something like what Reverend Blaine did, but when he did his Raiban, put that special incense in your hand. So when we did that, we're holding, this is how we're supposed to hold our Nenchu. We had to, they had to go like this and then down, and they put that. When it came, we had to move, we had to do this. And we had to put it on ourselves. And that's the special instance we did. Then our heads down, and the Gomonshu would say, I guess, the Namokie Butsu, Namokie Ho, and, I go to the Buddha for guidance, but he would say that. So we have to say that, heads down. After that, then we had to recite the new Rogemon, okay, in Japanese by memory. But I told Reverend Blaine, couldn't I take a cheat sheet? And he says, no, because you can't see it. Sure enough, you can't see it because it's dark. Can't read it. So you have to have that memorized. So we sat there and, we pared that down. And so I think you all got it, but I'm not doing it in Japanese. We'll do it in English. This is the new Rogemon. This is the Jodo Shinshu Creed. There is one that was written by Renyo Shonin. This is written by our current Gomonchu. This is brand new. So we had to do the new one. So if you can read this with me, and just imagine you're there, you're being ordained, okay? Your head's bowed down, dark. Okay, so it goes, Namo Ami Dabutsu. Oh, entrust yourself to me. I will liberate you just as you are. This is the calling voice of Amida. Let's all read it together. My blind passions are embraced in the Buddha's awakening. So the Buddha calls me. I will liberate you just as you are. Gratefully responding to the Buddha's call, I find that I am already on the path that leads to the Pure Land. And the Nimbutsu follows freely from my thankful heart. It is due to the guidance of Shinran Shonin and successive spiritual leaders who have transmitted the teachings to us today. Living with the Dharma as my guide softens my rigid heart and mind. Gratitude for the gift of life I have received frees me from becoming lost in greed and anger, and allows me to share a warm smile and speak gentle words. Sharing in the joy and sadness of others, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So again, going back to the next question, they asked me, what are you going to do now? And the other question, are you going for Kyoshi? I don't know. Again, okay. I'm not sure. I'm going to continue on this journey, yes. And so part of me says, maybe that's a good thing if I'm going to continue to go Kyoshi. And the other part says, wait a minute, just kind of embrace this moment right now. Don't take that next step right now. Just kind of take it slow. So yes, possibly. I am planning on taking more classes in Jodo Shinshu studies. But I think for now, I'm going to just embrace this moment, reflect on the journey that I have been on, and then take a little more baby steps and then maybe move forward. And, with Amida there and my mentors, together I can walk the path of the Nembutsu. So yeah, maybe Kyoshi might be there. I mean, it's not going to do it. It might be there, but I'm just kind of like taking everything in, right now, just feeling it, and it feels good. So yes, maybe, but I will continue studying. Okay, let's all put our hands together in Gassho, and let's recite Amida's name. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namyo Namandabs. 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 Thank you.
Thank you for your message, Miss Linda.
Mimi Bergstrom will now lead us in the unison reading of the Golden Chain of Love. Words can be found on the laminated handouts in the back of the pews and on the screen. Please join her in reading the words out loud.
golden chain of love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only on my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.
We will now have the offertory presentation. Mahalo everyone for your generosity which helps to sustain our temple.
Please stand as we will conclude this service with the singing of the Gatha Nembutsu.
Namandavs, 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 Namandavs.
You may be seated. This concludes today's service. Here are some announcements. Upcoming schedules for services and events.
Next Sunday, January 28th, we will observe the 38th annual Ellison Onizuka and Space Shuttle Challenger Memorial Service at 10 o'clock in the morning. We are fortunate that through the efforts of Claude Onizuka, once again our favorite astronaut, Colonel Michael Finke, will zoom in as our featured speaker and keep us updated on all the happenings in space. Please invite all of your friends to join us at this special memorial service and to hear from a real live astronaut. Sunday, February 4th, we will observe Nirvana Day service, which is Shakyamuni Buddha's memorial service at 10 a.m. Guest speaker will be Bishop Clark Watanabe from the Shingon Mission of Hawaii. Then regular Dharma service, family service will be held on Sunday, February 11th at 10 a.m. Please mark your calendars for our general membership meeting and New Year's luncheon, which will be held on Sunday, February 18th at 10 a.m. And heads up for a fun event in February. The 2024 Gatha Fest will be held on Sunday, February 25th at Hilo Betsuing at 9:30 a.m. It is an annual sharing of gathas by most temples on the Big Island. Kona Hongwanji Sangha will participate, and we will soon begin practicing our song during our temple services. Darren Katayama has written Dharma lyrics to John Cruz's island-style song, and our presentation will be accompanied by anyone wishing to play ukulele. Please pick up printed information available at the front table. Also, a sign-up sheet for transportation will be circulated. Anyone wishing to attend, please be sure to sign up so transportation arrangements can be made. Other reminders, be sure to open, read, and click on any attachments and interesting as well as useful links that are included with Reverend Blaine's weekly update email sent this past Friday. For those of you who have ordered and have not yet picked up the 2024 Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii calendar, please stop by the church office to pick it up. Extras are available if you'd like one. The 2024 BDK, a Wise Teaching a Day calendars are also available, and there is no charge for either of them. Free COVID tests are still available in the conference room. Are there any other announcements? Reverend Blaine or anyone else?
Brennan and Narcy for doing a great job today. Awesome. I also want to thank Melinda for sharing her Tokudo experience. Doesn't anybody else want to do Tokudo? Yeah? If you do, come see me after, yeah? So, but I think it's important, to remember that Tokudo means kind of entering the way, right? So Tokudo, so kind of entering the path, entering the way, and it really is a lifelong journey that we're on in learning and sharing the Dharma and growing in the Dharma. And that actually applies to all of us on this path in Shinshu, because there really is no separation really between those who are ordained and those who are lay persons in our tradition, because each of us is equally embraced by Amida's compassion. And so each of us is journeying along this remarkable journey of life as friends and fellow travelers, all the way to our birth in the Pure Land. And so, this is quite a remarkable thing for her to undertake, and I'm just really proud of her for seeing it through and making it through those 10 days. It really is kind of a hard time of spiritual discipline and reflection and practice. But over time, it's really, and when I look back on my own experience of ordination, it really, I look back more now as time has gone on more fondly. It was hard, it was difficult, but it was worth the effort and worth that moment to be able to be here with you and to serve you as your minister. So I'm also just very grateful for that opportunity. So thank you, everybody. So.
Those of you on Zoom, when you're ready to leave, just tap or click on the Leave Meeting button on your screen. Those of you here in person, refreshments will be served in the conference room. Mahalo to Molly Nakano, Tiffany Kaneko, and anyone else who brought goodies to share. Your attendance today is most sincerely appreciated.
Please stay healthy and safe. We hope to see you at future services.